Hey, listener, you know how much I love finding cool new tech? Well, this time I think I've found something really fascinating. This whole AI podcasting thing, it's really got me thinking.
Yeah, what's got you so excited?
Well, it's like this, right? This software engineer, he's found a way to use AI to turn his blog posts into podcasts.
Hmm.
Like, can you imagine just getting audio versions of your favorite blogs instantly?
Oh, wow. So what blog are we talking about here?
So it's this guy named the blog author. He writes on dev.20, mostly tech stuff, like
Yeah.
coding, software development. But get this, he's not just writing about AI, he's actually using it to make a whole new type of content.
Whoa, hold on. So he's using AI to make podcasts about AI.
Exactly. And it's not just any AI either. It's this tool called NotebookLM from Google. It uses their Gemini model, the one behind Bard.
Okay, I see where this is going. So Gemini, that's designed to like really understand and generate human-like text, right? Which I guess is huge if you're trying to make content.
That's the idea. So instead of just reading a blog post, NotebookLM sort of has this conversation with itself about the content, pulls out the key points, and spits it out in a format that sounds, well, a lot like a podcast.
Yeah, that is interesting.
And that's what this engineer is doing. He's calling these AI podcasts code quests. Pretty creative, right?
I mean, it's definitely innovative, but I'm curious, how does it actually sound? Is it like robotic voices or does it actually sound like a real conversation?
That's what I thought too. But he actually talks about that in his post. He was blown away by how natural the AI voices sounded.
Huh. So no robotic monotone.
Nope. And
Yeah.
thank goodness for that.
That's key. You got to keep people engaged if you want them to actually listen.
100%. But it does make you wonder, right? Is this the future of podcasting? Are we all going to be replaced by AI hosts?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I don't think it's as simple as AI taking over. It's more like AI is becoming a tool to help us do more, to create new possibilities for content.
So it's more about collaborating with AI than competing against it.
Exactly. This software engineer, he's still writing his blog. He's just using AI to experiment, to reach new people, to offer another way to consume his content.
It's kind of like he's created AI versions of himself to talk about his work, which is, I don't know, both cool and a little strange at the same time.
It definitely makes you think, right? Like, what does authorship even mean these days with AI in the mix? But you got to remember, he's still the one writing the original blog posts. The AI is just taking that and presenting it in a new way.
So there's still that human element, that control over the content. It's not like the AI is just going off on its own tangent. Speaking of control, I wonder how much he can actually tweak the AI's output.
Good question.
He doesn't really get into the specifics of editing in the post.
Well, even if he's not like editing every word the AI generates, he's still choosing what content to feed it, how to structure the podcast, what kind of feel he wants to create.
True.
So even though it's AI generated, it's still guided by his vision.
Right. It's still a product of his creativity. And this is what I think is so interesting. He's not just treating this like a technical experiment, you know. He actually cares about whether people enjoy listening to Code Quests.
And that's important because at the end of the day, it's about making something that people actually want to listen to, something engaging, something valuable.
Absolutely.
So he's thinking about the listener, the pacing, keeping it concise, all those things that make a good podcast.
And he even talks about how the podcast is like a condensed version of his blog. You get the main takeaways really quickly. Perfect for people short on time.
Now that is efficient.
Right. But what about if you want to learn more?
Oh, he's got that covered too. He sees the podcast as like a starting point. If something piques your interest, you can always go back and read the full blog post for all the details.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's almost like the AI is creating a teaser. It gets you hooked, and then you can go deeper if you want.
Exactly. I like that.
It's a really interesting approach, using AI to lead people back to his main content. But let's zoom out for a second. Look at the bigger picture here.
Okay, I'm game.
This whole thing, it really makes you think about the future of content creation, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Where do we even begin?
Right. Maybe we should save that for another deep dive. But for now, what's the key takeaway here? What does this experiment tell us about where things might be headed?
Well, to me, it says that AI is becoming just another tool for creators. It can help us do things faster, reach new people, maybe even come up with new ideas.
This is not about replacement. It's more about, like, augmentation. Like, AI can make us even better at what we do.
Exactly. This engineer, he's not giving up his blog. He's using AI to find new ways to share his knowledge, to connect with people who'd rather listen than read. It's about expanding his reach, trying new things.
And that's something we can all learn from, right? Whether we use AI or not. Yeah. It's about being open to new possibilities. Because who knows what amazing things we can create when we combine human creativity with the power of AI.
I couldn't agree more. And this experiment, it's a perfect example of that. He's not just blindly following the hype, he's really thinking about it, asking the tough questions about what it means to be a creator in the age of AI.
And how to use these powerful tools responsibly. It's a conversation that's just getting started.
It really is. And it's only going to get more, I don't know, complex as AI gets more sophisticated and we figure out how to use it for all sorts of things.
Yeah, it's like we're building the plane while we're flying it, you know?
Exactly. But that's also what makes it so exciting, right? We have a chance to really shape how this all plays out, to use these tools to tell stories and share information in ways we haven't even thought of yet.
And to your point about uncharted territory, think about the last time you were listening to a podcast. Did it ever cross your mind that, hey, maybe an AI made this?
Probably not.
Right. But as AI gets better, it's going to be harder and harder to tell the difference between something a human made and something an AI generated.
And that raises a whole other set of questions. Like, what does authorship even mean if you can't tell who or what created something?
It's like that whole Turing test thing.
Exactly. It's getting harder to tell human and machine apart.
It's wild.
It really is. But I think for now, the important thing for our listeners to remember is this. AI is changing the game when it comes to making content. It's not a matter of if, but when and how it becomes the norm.
So what does that mean for our listeners? It means paying attention, being aware of how things are changing, because the next time you listen to a podcast, it might just be AI-powered.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means we need to be, I don't know, more discerning. Ask questions, think critically about what we're listening to, and be open to this new world of AI-created content.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And on that note, we'll leave you with this thought. What if this podcast was AI-generated? Would you even be able to tell? Until next time, keep exploring, and remember, the future of content creation is being written as we speak. Or should I say, as we listen. It really is mind-blowing when you think about it. AI not just making stuff, but like blurring the lines between human and machine-made.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder, what even is creativity these days?
Right. And it's not just podcasts either. We're seeing AI everywhere, writing articles, making music, even painting and stuff.
It's moving so fast.
It is, and it's exciting, but it also makes you think. Like, what happens to us, the human creators, in all of this?
That's the big question, isn't it? But I think it's important to remember technology has always changed things. And with it, how we create and consume content.
True, true. I mean, think about the printing press, photography, even the internet itself. Big changes, but they also brought so many new possibilities.
Exactly. And this AI thing, it's like we're on the edge of another one of those shifts. It's not about AI replacing human creativity. It's about, amplifying it.
Making it bigger, pushing the boundaries.
Exactly.
And maybe even changing how we define creativity in the first place.
Right. It's not just about having the skills to paint or write a song anymore. It's about having the vision to use AI to bring those creations to life in new ways.
So to all the creators out there listening, whether you're in writing, music, podcasting, whatever, this is your sign to embrace AI.
Don't be afraid to experiment, see what it can do.
Because ultimately, it's not about humans versus machines. It's about finding new ways to work together, combining our strengths to create something truly amazing.
And who knows, maybe the next great work of art you experience, a song, a movie, even a podcast, maybe that'll be the result of that collaboration.
That perfect blend of human and machine. And on that note, we'll leave you with this thought. Next time you're listening to something, watching something, even just scrolling online, take a second to think, maybe, just maybe, AI had a hand in creating it. It might surprise you how common it's becoming, but more importantly, let it inspire you. Because the future of content creation, it's happening right now. Until next time, keep exploring and keep those minds open.